Well, a new mural shares the story of a prominent Black Knoxville native. Cal Johnson was the city's first Black millionaire. Now his image will look over future generations. 10 News reporter Lauren Levitt is at the Cal Johnson Center with more on this mural. I've gotten quite the history lesson from you today. Thanks for that, Lauren.
Of course, Robin, anytime. And, this art just really shares only a fraction of his story and just a little bit about, how he overcame his circumstances. And right now joining me is Cheryl Ely, the director of Parks and Rec here. Can you just tell me a little bit about where the idea for this mural came from?
The idea came from one of our community center staff, really Daryl Davenport, we call him Coach D, as well as Juanisha Cowan. And so they really had this idea of how do we tell the history of how Cal Johnson came about to all the kids that come into the center, as well as any public that comes in for basketball or volleyball games.
And why do you feel it is important to continue to share his story?
Well, the building is named after him, the park is named after him, and so how do you not tell kids the history? So interweaving everything that we do with the history to understand this is an important person in his days. I mean, he was enslaved and then became a millionaire and basically then gave back. I mean, he gave back the park and all the spaces, and so it's telling that story is really, it's the history of saying, don't forget the history, it's still here and it means something.
And I know earlier we were talking just about how getting to see all of the youth here, getting to see the mural for the first time as it was painted, all of those things. What was that like for you?
It was so exciting because the kids were just, every day they came in, there was something else going on. They're like oohing and ahhing. And so it's just those little bitty things that was like, for me, it was like, it's inspiring that they really took note that this was an important piece and they wanted to see it finished. And so they got to see it finished and we did some great video around it. I hope you all go out and watch that video, but it was wonderful.
Great. Yeah, it's just really inspiring, as we heard from some kids earlier, just how much they're already inspired by it. And that's exactly what the artists want. So it's great.